Okay, thanks very much again. I really appreciate it. Welcome everyone to this social selling conference. Really great initiative by modumup, and thank you very much for the invitation. We're going to talk about the art of social selling, and let's just get into this quickly. And I know we've run out of time, so just quickly about who am I. I am a business development manager. I've been around sales for quite a few years. At the moment, I'm business development manager with in Australia here in Melbourne. Based in Melbourne, but we've got a worldwide, Australia-wide organisation, MCG Quantity Surveyors, and basically we help anyone in property with their construction cost estimations, whether it be tax depreciation schedules, construction cost estimations, insurance replacement cost plans, anything to do with property that involves estimations and costings. That's what we do. But what I do, and I believe I do very well, is be able to create business and lead generation for the business that I work for. So in order to talk about social selling, I think it's important to put all these things into perspective. And I'm always a bigger picture kind of person. Always want to take the big picture view of what's happening out there. So we start looking at what's happening in the Asia Pacific market around LinkedIn. You can see we've got 235 million people that are on LinkedIn. When we look at the year-on-year change growth, we've got about 11 million people year-on-year increase, 11% that is. Increase. That's about 24 million joining LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn, from what I last recall, the numbers do change quite a bit. It's about 850, could be 880 million people worldwide. We've seen the Asia Pacific, we've got 35% breakup female and 64% are male. Again, important stats to have in mind as you progress via your social selling strategy in order to be able to position yourself in the right markets for the right channels and the right products and services. Let's talk more about the country that I live in Australia, and more specifically where I operate a lot of my business. We've got 13 million LinkedIn users. Now, that's pretty good. We're looking at about 50% of the population is on LinkedIn. Compared to the country I was born in, Greece, that's very good because I noticed Greece was about 1.5 million people on LinkedIn. So it depends on country to country. Certain countries do embrace platforms a lot more quicker and faster. And in Australia, we're very fortunate. We have a big uptake of technology, especially on social media platforms, including things like Instagram and TikTok. Again, we see the breakup of male and females. Here we've got 46.2% female and 53% male, a bit more closer in this particular situation compared to the Asia Pacific. Now, if we look at why LinkedIn, more recently, or a couple of years ago, but still very relevant, the Chief Marketer magazine did a survey with their marketing people, and they found that the most effective social channel for the brand was LinkedIn. This is a channel that people preferred when advocating and showcasing their brand on various platforms that are out there. We can see Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. That's probably shifted a bit, I would say. I think I would say Instagram is probably getting a bit more popular now, and Facebook as well. But LinkedIn is still seen as the B2B channel of choice for marketers out there. And why is it the choice of marketers? Well, we start thinking about what kind of people are we targeting. We're talking about business to business here. Within the Australian and Asia Pacific landscape, we start thinking about who is our buyer. Let's meet the modern buyer. Let's do a bit of analysis on the modern buyer. We can see that 61% of the buyers do extensive research. They know us even before they see us. We have contacted them, my apologies. They know us even before we make contact with them. So they've done research. So once we connect with them or send them a connection request or we post something, they go and do some research on us. Secondly, the modern buyer, he or she knows what they want. They are 21 times more likely to enter the sales process when they've had experience with you in relation to your social selling approach. They value content, and we'll talk a bit about content soon. 65% of B2B buyers state that the winning vendor's content had a significant impact on the buying decision. This is about thought leadership. This is about what we'll call later on educating your audience. And lastly, the experience driven. People buy from people. They want an experience. They know you represent a brand, but it's the experience, the journey you take them on, that they will then embrace you further and then buy from you. And they're willing to pay 30% more as long as the experience is there for them. Hopefully that puts you into perspective about what we're going to talk over the next couple of minutes. 1 second. So, Hans covered a good point about what is social selling. And let's have a look at it. Now, social selling was a term that LinkedIn devised as part of its process in launching a product called Sales Navigator. They wanted to set up a premium product out there in the market, and they wanted to launch it. And I thought, well, how can we launch it? What could be the background for it? So they came up with the term social selling. Now, a lot of us that are in this space, and I know some of the ladies online here today that are doing this conference, will know that we don't sell online. So we don't really like that term selling, because although we're here for lead generation and selling is the ultimate goal, we don't sell online. And keep that in mind. Whatever you do, do not sell online. You're here to create relationships. You're here to educate your audience. You're here to make them understand who you are and take those conversations offline for those particular sales to occur. So when we talk social selling, and again, our friend before covered this, he talked about the 4 pillars that LinkedIn has developed in social selling. Thanks to Top Dog Social Media here, credit to them. They've got a really good graphic here about what it is. And just quickly, briefly, because I know Hanzo covered this, it's creating a professional brand, finding the right people, engaging with insights, and building strong relationships. And we'll keep those in mind when we start talking about embrace, engage, and educate. My social selling strategy, I'm happy to share that with you because you know what? It's very simple. Very simple. I'm a simple person. I keep things simple because it's easy for me to understand, to comprehend, and to navigate. Who is my ICP? Your ideal client profile. A bit what our previous speaker talked about. The title, the location, their industry. Start unpacking that as much as you can to start honing in on your target audience. What problem do I solve? What aspirations am I selling? What desires am I attending to? What pain points am I looking to address? And why me? Why am I different? Is it about my experience? Is it my background? Is it the industries I've worked in? Is it my approach? Why me? So once you unpack those 3 things, you're then ready to start on your social selling journey on the LinkedIn platform. So what I did is I took my ICP and I've taken those 4 pillars. And because, like I said, I'm a simple person, and I mean that in a nice way, I created for myself, and what I educate my clients, past and present, is around 3 things, what I call the 3 E's of social selling. Embracing, engaging, and educate. So if you call those 4 pillars, these are all embraced within these 3 E's. So let's get through these, and I'll stop after each one, Olga, to see if there's any questions. Embrace. Again, a dear friend before covered this. I'll just quickly cover it from my perspective in what I do with my profile and what's worked for me. The most important thing with embrace is to look at your profile. Remember that people need to know, like, and trust you. So the first part about knowing is I will go to your profile to get to know you. They might even get to like you based on what you're saying. Trust will come later on. So when we want to know someone, we are looking at their profile. The key things here to notice are your branding. Must always have a banner. Do not go on the platform without having a banner. Yes, I know people like to have a bit of a sunrise, maybe some have a skyscraper. Personally, I think the banner should represent who you work for. So if you're an employee like I am, I dedicate my banner to the employer I'm working for at that particular point in time. We're Client Choice Awards winners, so I'll put it up there and shout it from the rooftops. The company is MCG Quantum Surveyors, and the other thing to see on the side is a quick web address. So if someone wants to go in there quickly to see who we are, bang, it's there. Also a contact number. They pick up the phone and make a quick call. They've seen something they like. I don't want them to go to contact info and to try to find me and so forth. Bang, it's all there. Now, one thing I'll give you is a point of a hint here. Make sure that that sort of writing on your banner is more to the right, because when people start looking at your profile on one of these, on the mobile, your head, your picture will move across a bit. So do me a favor, when you get a chance, check your LinkedIn profile on your mobile and see if your head picture is covering the branding. Otherwise, go back into Canva or wherever else you created your banner and move it a bit to the right So that way people can see you clearly, both on desktop and on mobile. Secondly, when we're talking about our profiles, this, in my view, is the most important part. Your first 3 lines about your profile. Now, people put in their executive director, they'll put in their business development manager, they'll put in their co-founder. Irrelevant. I can scroll down to your experience to see your title. Why waste LinkedIn real estate when it's there for you to use? Use it. My attitude with LinkedIn, they give me something, I will use it to the utmost that I can. So what I do is I've created my profile in how I help. Remember those things we talked about, the pain points? Well, this is how I help. Helping property owners get maximum tax deductions and insurance cover for their investment. This is also what Google will index to me on the Google web crawler. The first 3 lines of what Google will find you. If you ever Google your name, and you should be doing that once a month at least, have a look. You'll see that your LinkedIn profile will be in the top 2 or 3 results. And you should see the first 2 or 3 lines in the results section about what your profile is. So let's just cover that quickly again. Nice clear branding, have a nice clear picture, above the shoulders smiling. I work with B2B, so I'm in a suit and tie. If you're not into B2B and something else, make it suitable for the audience you're looking to target, and then talk a bit about how you help someone, how you help people. Now, you'll see there's also some things around the hashtags. That's creator mode. That's a whole different session, and maybe someday we can do a session on that, and we'll do more education on that one. A couple of quick tips. I talked about when LinkedIn gives you some real estate, use it. We have a pronunciation icon there, which you go into your mobile where you can pronounce your name. They give you 30 seconds. Well, guess what? It doesn't take me 30 seconds to say my name. So I use it to say, thanks for checking out my profile. Hope we can connect. Please hit connect now. Something along those lines. Use that space to give a bit more to your listeners. You can do that on your mobile, not on your desktop. And creator mode is those particular hashtags that you talk about. Just quickly moving again quickly along. The other key aspects of our profile is the featured section. A lot of people do not have a featured section on their profiles. This is where you get to shout from the rooftops about something you're very proud about, that you've accomplished or achieved. We've won an award. The other thing I've got there is I've also put in there a little video that we did recently around tax depreciation schedules. So that's what I've got there. Now, 2 or 3 is the maximum you should put and refresh every 6 to 8 months. In fact, you should be refreshing your overall LinkedIn profile every 6 to 8 months. LinkedIn is all about you talking about yourself. There's only one part of LinkedIn where other people put their name on the line to vouch for you. It's recommendations. Again, a very often overlooked section of LinkedIn that people don't pay attention to. In the business, we call this the social proof of a LinkedIn profile. People here have got their names, what they do, their pictures, and they talk about you and how you've helped them succeed in what they do. And I've done this in the past. I will click on a name, I will connect with that person and say, hey, you said that Olga helped you in this way. Can you please tell me more about how Olga helped you? I'm looking to engage her. It's that what we call quick, real-time reference checking that you can undertake, and it's there available to everyone. Again, recommendations every 6 to 8 months. I'm probably due for some now. So I'll go out to my network and start advocating for a few more recommendations. Get them into your profile. They are very, very powerful, and they do count a lot in relation to your social selling strategy. Because one of the first things that I do is I'll look at your top part of the profile, and trust me, this is what I do. I go straight to the bottom and look and see who's recommended you. That's the way I operate. Probably others will be the same. I'll have a bit of a pause there, Olga. Is there any questions at the moment?
No question for now.
Yeah. Have a drink of water. Good. Thank you very much. I'll keep going. Okay. Now, we talked about embracing. Let's talk about engaging. And this is, again, remember those 4 pillars about finding the right people, but it's more than just finding the right people. It's then how you start to interact, you start to connect with them. So one of the first things we can do on LinkedIn is once we've got that ICP, our ideal client profile, and we've unpacked that to identify the people that we want to connect with, we go into our search bar in LinkedIn. Now, I'm in the property space. I'm looking for property buyers. So I'll type in property buyers and I'll hit the search. And once I hit the search, I will get my results. Well, what do I do with my results? What I've done is, because I operate in the Australian market, I will limit it to that. And you'll notice here I've limited to people because I'm not interested in the companies at this stage. I want to connect with individuals. But I've done second and third connections. So what I want to do is I want to find out who I know and who they know that's in the space that I'm targeting. I hope that makes sense. So the people that I know, first connections, I'm already connected to. It's the people that they know that I want to start connecting to. And why is that important? Because a warm referral is 10 times more powerful than a cold. So once I find someone in that group that I want to target, I will go and see who are they connected to. That's my first connection. I will then go to the first connection and say, hey, Olga, hey, George, hey, Mary, I noticed you're connected to Ben. Ben is someone that I think we can have some conversations. Are you able to introduce me to Ben? A warm referral. If Ben gets that request for connection from me as a cold one, he might not connect. But when he sees that Mary's recommended me or done an intro to me, 9 out of 10 times they will say, hi, Con. Thank you very much, Mary, for recommending Con. Hey, Con, let's have a chat. So that's the way you start creating that engagement. When it comes to some connection tips, and this is a strategy that I use. Now, this is weird, this is strange, this is peculiar. This is my strategy, and at the moment it's working for me. So I go and find the people by industry, title, whatever the other ICP criteria I use. I'll look at a few of their posts and I'll interact on their posts, either via an emoji or make a bit of a comment. Not selling, not pushing. Great share. I really agree with what you're saying here. I've also experienced the same situation. More than 3 words, by the way, because that way LinkedIn knows you're interacting. Not just say great share. Great share goes nowhere. Great share. Thanks, George, for sharing. I agree with this post. I think it adds a lot of value to what we're doing. I've had a similar experience, blah, blah, blah. Now, I'll wait for a few times. So after a few interactions, I'll wait. I'll then hit follow on that particular individual's profile, not connect. I'll hit follow. Don't ask me why. This is the way I do it. Because they would have seen me interacting. They then see me follow them. They will then go look at my profile. So if I go back to my profile, and it's a rockstar profile, they get to, one, know me. Because they've seen my comments, they get to start to like me. And then, because I've followed them, they start to trust me. So we've got the trifecta. So what we do then is, I'll wait for a few days. If they don't connect with me, most of them do. If they don't send me a connection request, I will then take the initiative and say, hey, I've been liking what you've been posting. I've been commenting, interacting. I really enjoy the stuff you're sharing. I'd love to connect and learn more about your journey, also, or be part of your journey. No selling, no sales pitch. We all hate those people that connect and pitch. Don't do that. What I do with those people, and I hate to say it, but I do, I just block. Not even interact, just block, see you later. I don't need that in my profile, in my feed. So the aim is, of course, to always move the conversation offline. So by doing that process, and why do I do a follow first and I connect? Well, a couple of things. Because on my profile, because I've got creator mode on, I've also got the follow button, not the connect button. So if they go to see my profile, they will say, well, okay, he's followed, I'll follow him. That's one aspect of it, although they can connect by clicking on the more and drop down and connect. Secondly, why I do that is because I'm trying to show I'm interested in them, that I have an interest in what they're doing. I really engage with them and care about what they're posting and what they're sharing. And then if they see the same way, they will send me the connection request. Either way, we will connect eventually. So the most important thing with any platform, and some of the stuff we're talking about today applies to other platforms as well, is social listening. It's the triggers that we've got out there. So I'm going to show you now a few examples. We talked about some case studies about how social listening has worked for me. Graham was the head of learning development when I was selling learning development systems. I was selling learning management systems for the major health insurer in Australia. Now, Graham and I had connected a long time ago, but we've not connected recently. It's been a long time since we spoke, Graham. Hope you're well. I saw this on LinkedIn. What I saw was that he and his organisation won an award for implementing a new learning initiative in e.g. LinkedIn Learning. Great to see you've acquired that. Be good to catch up soon. Now, Graham, in the meantime, unbeknown to me, had been following me on LinkedIn and been seeing me speaking, because I'd been speaking at a couple of conferences in the States and also in Australia, and he'd been following me. So he was really eager to see my request. Hey, yes, Con, long time no speak. Let me know in Docklands. Docklands is a suburb here in Melbourne, Australia. We'll catch up. I have a new design manager because he knew by my profile what I was working with, what I was selling. We're heading a search for a new learning management system. Connection at the right time with an acquaintance that had been in my network over a period of time. No problem, Graham. Love to show Janet and yourself Totra. In fact, it's been upgraded. As a result of this particular interaction, we had a couple of demos, and we got to sale over a couple of $100K of a new learning management system for a major health insurance provider here in Australia. When you see someone post a particular network event and you're interested, just like it. So what it is, I like this particular event Ben was organising. Now, Ben wasn't the first connection at that stage. So as soon as I liked it, Ben sends me a connection request. Straight away, we've got a connection happening. I met Ben at the networking event about a week later. We hit it off. We're meeting next week to have a further conversation how we can help each other. So it's always about listening, looking, watching. Next, I'm part of a unique group on LinkedIn. It's a closed group for people that are members of the Australian Human Resource Institute. I've got a wide variety of background. Even though I'm working in different industries all the time, I still keep my connections alive. I see a post that someone's looking for someone to build a competency framework. I'm also a member of one of Australia's elite learning professional bodies. I take that post from that other network and share it with my colleagues on this particular hub, what we call this particular group on LinkedIn, because I care about people. One thing I do, and I do very well, is connect one person with the other person where I can see a synergy occurring. So I posted on there and said, hey guys, here's a post from that group. If you're interested, reach out to the person. I don't know them. Just say a colleague of yours saw the post and thought we'd reach out, would be great. And the CEO of the ILP wrote back and said, Con, as always, thanks for sharing your master of current opportunities. Again, listening, watching, making the connection. Because trust me, people, you paid will come back to you tenfold. Pay it forward. Give, and give again, and you shall receive. The next social trigger. Recently, the Mortgage Broker Association announced their top commercial brokers of 2022. This is always a great way to target someone you want to target. Mortgage brokers is a group of people that we work with in the property space because we do tax appreciation schedules for property investors. So I've got a list of them, found the ones that are in my local area, and I target them specifically via LinkedIn. Hi, Jason. On behalf of MCG Quantity Surveyors, I want to congratulate you on your award. This is a great achievement. We at MCG Quantity Surveyors love working with winners. You've got to pump up their tires. Give them recognition, appreciation. People love to hear about how good they are and how someone else is appreciating them. So at the same time, while I've got their attention, our research shows that most brokers and advisors are not alerting their clients toward an investment property depreciation schedule. So go on. Now look how I finish. Recently we released our newest research. It is an exclusive report, and the aim is to present a comprehensive analysis of our data. I would love to send you a copy. No sales pitch. No, here's our brochure. I'd love to send you a copy. Value add. It's all about them. It's not about you. I've got this report. I'd love to send you a copy. Jason accepted the copy. We're having a conversation. I'm meeting him tomorrow. I'm meeting him tomorrow to have a conversation further about what he does and what he found about the report. So the next conversation is about, hey, Jason, what did you think about the report? Anything that stood out for you? Anything you think you can share with your clients? Anything we can help with? That's how the conversation evolves. Jason gets to know you, gets to like you, he gets to trust you. And once he gets to trust you, he or she will do business with you. Keep going through some more case studies. Met Richard at that Property Development Network meeting. First thing Richard does, the next morning, 10:18, he sends me a message. Con, pleasure to meet you last night. 3 minutes later, I respond. Must always have your notifications turned on. Always focus on what message you're getting. When you respond that quickly, they are amazed. Now, do I live on LinkedIn? Probably yes, I do. But having my notifications on helps me respond quickly. In fact, there is something that Richard Vanderbloom has discovered as part of his research, that if someone responds to your post on LinkedIn, and if you respond within the hour back to them, it's called the golden hour, that post will continue to get traction on the platform. So when you post something and someone's responded, make sure you've got your notifications on, you know they've responded. And if you respond and reply back to them with a thank you and so forth, within the hour, the post will continue to have traction on the platform. But more importantly on this one, Richard is now invited me to speak at his conference next year, and most likely we'll do some business with them. They're major strata managers here in Australia, and strata managers is another ICP group that I would target and would like to work with. Last couple of examples, I think that hopefully these examples are resonating with you just to show you the kind of social listening triggers that are out there. Alex is a senior associate of Century 21 Property Group, a group that I've been trying to penetrate for a while. So Alex, thanks for liking my post. So again, if someone's liked your post, that means it shows them interest. Get onto it. Anything you get an emoji from someone you're not connected with already, a like, a clap, a celebration, or a support, any of those emotions, and the curious one, even the curious one, hi, thanks for liking my post. Love to catch up, hear more about what you do. Alex, hi Con, thank you for the opportunity to catch up for coffee, leave with me, I'll touch base with you. And that's where things like profile views also become very, very relevant. Always check your profile views. Now, I know with the LinkedIn free version that you can't always see the whole list. You can't get the last 2 or 3. I'm fortunate I've got Navigator, so I can see all of them. But checking your profile views, and do this every morning, there's a lot of things that happen overnight, and see who you're connected with and who you're not. Even if it's someone that you are connected with but you've not done business with, send them a message. Hey, Edwin, thanks very much. I recall we met at the networking meeting. We never got a chance to have a chat. Thank you for liking my post. Have you got any time this week? And others that you're not connected with, here's an opportunity to start connecting with them by clicking on that button. The only problem is when you connect with this methodology, sometimes it doesn't allow you to send a note. My view is unless I've met someone and I know them or I'm familiar with them, I will always make sure my connection request is personalised with a message of some sort.
Con, thank you so much for your speech. It was very practical, and we have actually feedback from Martha. Great practical advice, Con. People should focus on sharing and giving more than what they can benefit from the relationship. And I completely agree with her that, yeah, it totally makes sense. And thank you for sharing this approach, this methodology. So
we'll share the slides with you. I'll share my slides with you so people get more value.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for that. We will share the slides with those who have registered, because we have their emails and we can send them an email with all the presentations and the recordings. So
thank you, Olga.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate you participated in our conference.